So this is a new account that we've just set up. We've already connected to QuickBooks and we've connected to Shopify. And so we can see that there is data coming through, and we can see that the entries are ready that are your sales entries. So what I would do is I would come through and I would turn on my cost of goods sold. So as we saw in the first screen, we've got the sales entries ready to go, but we want to enable A2X to post the cost of goods sold. So what A2X will do is it will send through a summarized entry. So you then need to select which account you would like your entries to be posted against. So in this case, it might be a COGS expense account, and we've got a Shopify one there. So that's going to be the account that's debited. And then on this side, we might have an inventory asset account, which we can see there is one for Shopify. So you may need to set these accounts up within your accounting software. You might have already had Finale posting to some accounts, the value of your stock, for example. So you just need to make sure that those are nicely lined up. And then we just click Save. So that should update. Okay, so now cost of goods sold is enabled. But if I come to my payouts, I will see the COGS status is not complete, because what A2X needs is it will be able to see what SKUs were sold on Shopify, but it doesn't know the cost of those SKUs. So if we go to the cost tab, yeah, we can see that these SKUs have been identified, but there is no cost or details for those. So prior to the days of having an integration with Finale, you could have come in and manually added those costs in. We also have a Google Sheets method or a Cloud CSV method where you can bring in those costs. But in many cases, it wasn't automated. And if you were missing a SKU, you would have to then go and find that SKU cost. So now with Finale, you just, so along the top, you just switch to the Finale tab. And if we go sync with Finale, so I'm just going to enter some credentials here. While I grab the key. Okay, so it says it's in process. It will take several moments. It's actually really nice and quick. And we can see here, just like that, the numbers have come through from Finale. So that's awesome. Now all of the SKUs have a cost associated with them. To be honest, that could have taken hours to try and manually work out what those SKUs are, but they've come through from Finale. And I believe how it works is that I think it's every day, the costs will automatically be updated if they're updating Finale. So yeah, really nice and simple to be bringing in those SKUs, and those will be saved. You have the option, for example, I guess if you don't have access to Finale and you wanted to do a temporary override, or there was some SKUs that you just wanted to do a quick change of costs, you can do that, and you can upload those costs. But then the next day it will switch back to using the Finale integration. So then what happens is if we go over to the Payouts tab, okay, so we can see the costs are still not complete, but what we just need to do is refresh. So again, it's going to take a few moments, but it should be really quick. So what it's doing now is having a look at the costs that have come through from Finale and applying those to the cost of goods sold. So nice, we can see that those have pulled through really nicely. And if we have a look, let's try and see if we can find one that's got a few costs associated. Perhaps this one here. Cool. So now you can see the two entries from A2X. So this one is the one that I spoke through before, which is the reconciliation entry. But now you can also see the entry that would be posted through to your accounting software. So we can see for this particular sale, there was $12 worth of COGS, $11 for the first SKU, and then $1 for the second SKU. So you would send that through to QuickBooks, and then what that looks like on a QuickBooks perspective. So if I go to reports, there is actually a report within QuickBooks that you can have a look at all of the journals that have been posted through. But instead of looking at those specifically, what I'm actually going to look at is the profit and loss. So I can see here at the top, the Shopify sales, and keeping in mind this is just demo data. So we can see here that the sales have been posted through. And then I can also see that my cost of goods sold has also been updated. So if I have a look at this, I just want to be sure that that number is actually coming through from A2X. This is where you see all of the entries that have been posted through to that account. I click on this one. I can see that this entry has come through from A2X. And I can see, this is not the same example of I showed you with the $12. This is different data. As you can see here, the process is the same. So there's a debit from the cost of goods sold account, and that was the account that I would have selected when I was doing the setup. And there's a credit for the inventory asset account. And then if we wanted to also have a look at the balance sheet, we can have a look at that inventory asset balance. So we can see here there will be an inventory asset account. It looks like the COGS have been deducted, but there wasn't actually a balance added to that account, which is something you can likely do with a journal entry or with Finale. So you can see here the other side of that entry, similar to the one that I was showing you before. So that's how it works. It's going to give you a really nice, accurate summary of your COGS. And the real benefit is you've got the data coming through from Finale into A2X, into your GL. And to be honest, you can set up auto posting and you don't even have to worry about kind of having a look at A2X. You just have that real certainty that your numbers are coming through. They've been calculated as they should be within Finale, and then they're seamlessly coming through into A2X. There's one other thing I will just quickly show you. So within A2X, you can enable what's called auto posting. So that means when an entry is available in A2X, you can then send it through automatically to your GL. And that's what I was meaning before, having to you're not having to log in, they'll automatically be posted through. The one thing I would say is that A2X is taking an average cost. So if your costs are changing in Finale, or it's likely that you'll be adding purchase orders or I guess bills or things like that into Finale at the end of the month, one thing you can look at doing within A2X is not having it set up to auto post. So then you can be sure that the costs have been entered into Finale and then post those entries through. So just depending on your workflow and how quickly you want A2X to be capturing those COGS, it's just a setting you can choose within A2X.